Hey scholars, it's Mrs. Gregerson. I am pleased to see that everyone has been getting their homework in yesterday, which is great. Just wanted to go over a few things to remind you about when you're doing volume or surface area, any of those things. But the key thing is still knowing your formulas and the type of shape that you're working with. So for instance, I'm going to show you number 5 here. A number 5, it's a prism because we have the two congruent polygon bases that are parallel. But remember, anytime you have a pyramid or a prism, you have to draw the base. And it's all 6 centimeters on a side. And then you write down the formula you're going to need. Well, I'm doing volume. Well, that's area of the base times the height. So I have to find the area of the base. Well, I'm going to use, because it's an equilateral triangle, side squared root 3 all over 4. So 6 squared root 3 all over 4. And that's going to equal 9 root 3. And then we plug it in. We get 9 root 3 times the height of 18. And of course, I forgot my calculator, but that's going to be 262 root 3 cubic centimeters. Now friends, notice things, everything I did on here, I drew the base polygon. I wrote the formula for the area of it down and solved for it. Then I had the volume formula with the work directly below it. Please don't forget to do those. Okay, now the next one I wanted to go over with you is number 11. This one says to go in terms of pi and also to the nearest tenth. With this one, my friends, you need to understand they gave you the diameter is 5 meters, so your radius is going to be 5 over 2, so that kind of changes things. But we know the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times the height all over 3, or it's going to be 1/3 pi r squared times the height. We're going to use the second one this time because I have a fraction and it works a lot easier on this one. So we just start plugging in. We got 1/3 pi. My radius is going to be 5 over 2 squared times the height of 6. Now I'm going to do some things. I got 1/3 here. I'm going to make pi over 1. I'm going to make sure that I square everything completely when I go 5 over 2 squared, which is going to be 25 over 4. And then we got 6 over 1. All right, so then we just do some quick simplifying. And we get the following. We get 25 pi over 2, and that would be in cubic meters. But my friends, when we are working with that, you're also supposed to go to the nearest tenth. So then you're supposed to put in your calculator. I'm grabbing mine real quick. To the nearest tenth, what do we get there? 25 times pi divided by 2. I've got 39.3. So 39.3 cubic meters. All right, one last problem I want to do with you all to make sure we're on the same page is the one with the composite figures. This is not difficult if you kind of think divide and conquer. So when I look at this, I'm like, I can divide this into a full-size prism and half a cylinder. So if I'm going to do the half the cylinder, so half the volume of a cylinder, I'm going to write my formula that way. I'm going to go pi r squared times the height, which is the volume of a cylinder, but I'm going to do what with it? Put it all over 2. So we have a few things we need to figure out. We realize that if this is 12 inches here, the diameter for my cylinder would be 12, which means my radius from here to here would be 6. The height of the cylinder would be 10. So we plug it in. So pi times 6 squared times the height of 10 all over 2. All right, what do we get? 180 pi. And we'd go cubic inches. So that's the half of the cylinder. But then, my friends, we have this prism that we can use, right? So you have to decide which side is your base. Now, the cool thing with a rectangular prism, you just pick a side to be your base. I'm going to pick this side right here. So I'm going to redraw my base because I'm required to draw the base of prisms. This would be 12 inches on a side. This would be 10 inches on the side. And we find the area of the base, which would be base times height because it's a rectangle. And we get here 10 times 12 or 12 times 10, doesn't matter which one's the base or the height in this case, and it's going to be 120 square inches. But the volume of the rectangular prism is area of the base times the height, so that's 120 times the height. In this case, I'm going to have my height to be 24, so I'm going to punch that into my calculator. 120 times 24, I got 2,880. So the volume of this is going to be 2,880 plus 880 pi cubic inches, but they said to put that to the nearest whole number. So I'm going to have to add them together and round. And I got 3,445 cubic inches. All right, my friends, let's see if there's any other ones that probably need to go over. Let's see. I have a feeling you guys are doing pretty good, but let's look at number 17 together, and then after that, this video will close. And again, do not feel like you have to watch it. You can always fast forward through these videos if you already know how to do it. Well, first thing I'm going to do, since I'm going to work backwards problem here, find and draw the area of my base. So I know this is 3 feet and this one's 3 feet. So the area of the base is going to be base times height over 2. So I get 3 times 3 all over 2, which is 9 over 2. Why did I know it was 3? It's an isosceles right triangle. You could also use the formula hypotenuse squared all over 4 to find an isosceles triangle's area. All right, so I'm looking here, we get the volume of this. This is area of the base times the height, and they tell us that the volume is 27. The area of the base is 9 over 2, and I'm looking for the height. Well, how can I do this quickly? I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and then divide by 9. And your height, my friends, is going to be 6 feet. All right, friends, hope you have a great day and that these couple problems help you out.